Pollution makes water impure and restricts its use for some human and natural functions of the ecosystem.
How are these pollution problems managed now, if at all? Reestablishing wetlands and preventing the destruction of those that still exist would reduce the amount of water pollution as they serve as buffer surges in runoff and filter the pollutants from lakes and rivers. Water treatment plants are outdated and need to be improved to stop the system pipes from leaking further pollution into the water system. Everyone can help by cleaning up trash near rivers, lakes, oceans, streams, etc. Use fewer plastic bottles.
Identify the top 3 sources of pollution. Who has that?
What?
The solution. Portions of solution.
I have 4.
Yeah, that is 4.
Okay. Top 3 sources of pollution. Trash. Non-stop point source pollution refers to both water and air pollution. Runoff causes pollution as well.
Fish can take in the pollutants, and chemicals can be taken into new areas transported by the stream moving, and it reduces wildlife diversity.
There are many things you cannot do if a lake or stream is polluted, like no swimming, can't eat the fish, and no fishing.
Some laws and regulations that apply are the Clean Water Act and the Division of Water Pollution.
Solutions to water pollution. Encourage smart agricultural practices. Right-sizing applications of fertilizer and using techniques like biodynamic farming, no-till planting, settling ponds, and riparian buffer zones can keep polluted runoff from entering streams. What? Animal agriculture can be a problem too. For example, runoff from chicken raising operations is a leading cause of nutrient pollution in the Chesapeake Bay. As the compassionate society, we should probably ban altogether the barbaric practices imposed on animals and concentrated feeding operations. But until we do that, these potent pollution centers must be made to meet strict water quality standards. Reduce urban and suburban runoff of lawn fertilizers and pesticides. If you put normal fertilizer, pesticides, and other chemicals on your lawn, landscaping, and gardens, you are part of the water pollution problem. While you may find these products helpful, much of their volume is washed by rain or blown by air to nearby streams, ponds, and rivers. They also tend to degrade your soil over time, making your future gardening efforts that much more difficult and reliant on chemicals. You can find out how to have a nice lawn, stop wasting money on lawn chemicals, and stop polluting our waterways by checking out 2 articles on thegrinningplanet.com, which are lawn care tips and organic lawn care. Prevent further destruction of wetlands and reestablish them whenever possible. Both inland and coastal wetland acts to buffer surges in runoff and to filter pollutants from runoff and flows. Yet it has been standard practice in the U.S. and many other countries to allow development concerns to almost always trump the value of nature services. It's time to get serious about preserving wetlands. Drive less. Nitrogen deposition from air pollution is a big part of the nutrient pollution problem. About a third of the nitrogen pollution in the Chesapeake Bay is from nitrogen deposition from air pollution, much of which comes from automobile emissions. How much we drive, how large a vehicle we motor in, mileage standards, and many other factors will play a part in how much pollution we personally leave behind when driving. People are also constrained with brainless building codes and forced separation between houses, stores, and work, forcing us to drive more than we'd like. But driving less is something we can do better at if we try, and all of the relatively small individual contributions will make a big difference when summed across millions of drivers. Improve sewage treatment. This is a big enough topic that we gave it its own section. Should I edit it out? If the toilet in your house were spewing its contents onto your bathroom floor, would you make it a very high priority to get the situation corrected? As societies, we should place the same priority on upgrading our out-of-date and under-capacity sewage treatment plants that sometimes spew their contents into our waterways. It's also important to ensure that homeowners with septic fields are installing and maintaining their systems in ways that do not contaminate nearby groundwater or surface water.
This is some examples of trash floating in the river.
The biggest countries that are contributing to pollution is industrial waste and sewage pollution. More than 2/3 of the India's water resources. 1/3 of China's rivers are judged unfit for agricultural use and even for industrial uses. According to a 2007 report by Chinese officials, more than half of China's 1.3 billion people, including those in the 278 cities, live without any form of sewage treatment. 300 million Chinese, and an amount of almost equal to the entire U.S. population, do not have access to drinkable water. In Latin America and Africa, most streams passing through urban or industrial areas suffer from sewer pollution. Garbage is also dumped into rivers in some places. Since 1972, Canada and the United States have joined forces and spent more than $200 billion on the Great Lakes Pollution Control Program. This program has decreased agro blooms, increased dissolved oxygen levels, and sport and commercial fishing catches Lake Erie, and allow most swimming beaches to reopen. These improvements occur mainly because of the new upgraded sewage and treatment plants, better treatment than industrial waste, and bans on used detergents have holes, cleaners, and water containers that contain phosphates, all intended mostly because bottom-up citizen pressure.